Welcome to the season 2 finale of Pitch and Bitch.
We've made it.
We're here. It is the season finale of We Should Leave.
And there's so many times we could have left.
We had so many opportunities to leave, and yet we took none of them.
So many red flags.
Oh, a sea of red flags. And yet, here we are. And today we're going to be discussing Creep from 2014, which was directed and written by Patrick Brice, starring Patrick Brice himself, Mark Duplass, and Katie Aselton. And that's it. It is 3 people in this movie. Boom.
It is found footage. How do you feel about found footage?
I have a love-hate relationship with found footage.
I agree.
Because when found footage is good, it's so good. But when it's bad, it is horrendous.
Where do you rate this on your scale for that?
In terms of the found footage, I would say it's actually a really good concept, because usually the issue with found footage is like, okay, but who edited all this and put it together into the movie that we're watching?
That's true.
And this has a built-in explanation for that, which I did actually really like.
It doesn't feel... Okay, yeah, I agree. It doesn't feel forced. Yeah.
But for me, that said, the sort of like mockumentary, faux documentary is not my favorite style. Like, I don't love a lot of movies that are like that. Like, obviously, there's some iconic ones and things like that. Like, you know, Spinal Tap, What We Do in the Shadows. Like, there's a few that are great. But, like...
Oh, yeah, that's like a...
There are some that are admittedly great. But, like, it's generally not really something I gravitate towards. So, this movie, I had never seen it before. Had you seen it?
I haven't seen it either.
Ooh, first time watch for both of us.
Yeah, we're both.
So this movie was something I heard a lot about, but I wasn't necessarily, like, super drawn to, just because I'm like, okay, it's a found footage mockumentary, which is like not really my thing.
I wanted to get your feel because it definitely dictates how we go into this, because people who love found footage love found footage. I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, because you can go so hard with that genre, because it really does run deep, because it is so accessible in making found footage. Right? But like you said, when it's good, it's good.
I mean, like Blair Witch Project.
But when it's bad, it's bad.
It's real bad.
Yeah.
It's real bad.
And I feel like you have to be in the mood for it. I feel like you have to be ready for it. Mm-hmm. And we definitely were around for that found footage era, for sure.
Yes.
So it went from Blair Witch to Paranormal Activity to...
Yep. Oh, yeah. Like... And I feel like the great thing about found footage is how accessible it is, in that sense that, like, you know, Paranormal Activity or Blair Witch Project or this, like, you don't really need much in terms of a budget or like anything. You can actually just get a camcorder, because I'm old enough to call it a camcorder, and do something like that. You can get a little portable camera and off you go. And
I will have to say, this time I cannot guess the budget or anything like that.
I have some stuff about that later,
because I wanted to look it up.
Yeah.
Well, and I did try looking it up, because especially... Mm-hmm. There's been, because Obsession just came out, and they're like, it's between 750, 100,000 and $1 million. It's like, well, that's like 250K. Where did that go?
What? That's a big differential, guys.
So I've seen 500, but I was listening to something, and they were talking about it, and they said 5,000.
I could kind of see 5,000.
Right, because 500 doesn't seem plausible. I used 500 with my student film. Like, come on.
That's true.
That was for like pizza. Like, like for real. Like, money goes quick.
Let's kind of get into it, because this movie, how this movie came to be, basically, is the people who are in it, namely Patrick Brice and Mark Duplass. This is their movie, period. They wrote it, they directed it, they're in it. It's literally just the two of them for 99% of this movie.
It's the formula.
Right? The only other person who's in it is literally in a phone call. She's not even on the screen. So, assuming they did not take any pay, the only things they would have to provide are food for themselves, like you were saying. I'm assuming one of them potentially owned a camera they could use, since Mark Duplass is also a director.
Exactly.
And things like that. So, like, they already have a lot of stuff, which
just comes down to equipment and how many people you need to feed and how many people are on set.
And, like, is that someone's house that they know? Probably. Or is it, like, an Airbnb where they shot?
Yes.
Because then you might have to pay for that. But, like, realistically, these are people who work in film in California whose names we know, so they probably make at least somewhat okay money. So that might be theirs, or, like, a friend of theirs that they got for free. Yes, because the rumor for this is that the budget was $500. Other places say $5,000, things like that. There is no box office information for this movie because it was never released theatrically. It only was ever released to streaming, and I do have some fun facts about it later, but it had like a very convoluted journey to get to Netflix, which was where a lot of people found it. So yeah, they didn't market it, so no marketing budget, because that's often where a lot of that money will come in. Like, I feel like a great example of that is Honora that came out in the last couple of years. Everyone's like, oh my God, it was like a $2 million movie. That's so cheap. That's
that
so
Oscar
cheap.
budget, though.
They had a $17 million marketing budget. That's not the same thing,
and
guys.
their Oscar campaign.
Well, that was their Oscar campaign, was the $17 million marketing budget, basically. That's where that went, because what a lot of people also don't know is you have to pay to campaign for a nomination for an Oscar.
I don't want people to make me, like, I love Mikey, but Demi should have won.
I agree.
I'm so sorry. I am in that camp.
I am in that camp too. I love Mikey Madison. She was great in Honora, and she deserved recognition. Like, that was an incredible performance. It was. Like, no shade to her whatsoever. But that should have been Demi Moore. Like, it just should have.
Just should have.
The substance, her performance in that was so... Admittedly, got camp and crazy at the end, but parts of it were so raw and so real. I think that is legitimately some of the best work she has ever done. And the fact that an actress who does not resemble Demi Moore, but younger, is the one who won is so kind of horrifically ironic that my brain didn't want to process it when it happened.
No.
And, like, she should have won. Yeah. Like, she won everything else. She should have just swept it.
And this Mandela effect, I'm so happy that Tammy won. Yeah.
Right? Like, let's start that.
And this new parallel timeline.
Yeah. That rumor that it was actually to me.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, exactly. We'll start editing things on YouTube. We'll see if we can alter the timeline.
So difficult, though. What a time. What a time to be alive.
Right?
What a time.
Right?
But yeah, it's just budgets are so deceiving, especially depends on marketing.
Exactly.
But,
and the other thing is, for example, like with something like Honora, you may have a $2 million shooting budget. That might be correct. And then your film gets distribution with a much bigger company that adds that $17 million marketing budget. So you may not have had that initially, but we don't know, basically. There's no way to know. And also,
like, it would be super cool if you like made this movie and then you had like a super rich friend that was like, yeah, I'll give you like $10 million.
I mean, that's
what a cool world.
That's the dream, guys.
You guys, you're awesome.
You make something
friends.
cool with your awesome friends, and then your other super awesome friends is like, give me the
awesome
thing, and I'll give you a bunch of money.
Your awesome bank
and then
accounts.
you get to go and do awesome things with your awesome friends. We dream of.
Yeah, just being silly gooses over here.
Right, the silliest of geese.
But that's the cool part about found footage again, is like you are making these, like, sometimes like really good moments of horror, I mean, even with a small micro budget,
right?
It's just having Will. It's really awesome.
Exactly. And like, even a recent example for when this releases is the new movie Backrooms that's coming out.
I'm very excited for that one.
That looks really great. And that guy who's 19 directed that movie, which is wild. But he started out making shorts on YouTube that literally were like found footage style, and now he's making this crazy huge, I believe it's A24 movie. Like, it makes filmmaking really accessible, which is really 100%. Cool. So we will take the trash along with the good because of the good that this does.
Yeah, and just make stuff.
Yeah, make stuff with your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how literally every famous person who's like, doesn't matter what art they make, but like if they're an artist of any kind and they're famous, that's how they started, was screwing around with their friends and family, usually in like a backyard.
Just in a weird way, you've accidentally made a portfolio.
Sure.
And then people are like, oh.
Like, wow, you've been doing this a while.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I guess we can give you some money because that's realistically how it works.
I mean,
investment.
It's the same as the Philippou brothers who just made Bring Her Back and Talk to Me and all that stuff.
So good.
Their YouTube channel. That's how that started. So, like, go start a channel.
Excited for their death wrestling documentary.
I honestly... Their movies for me have both hit so hard that I'm like, you know what? Whatever you make, I'm going to check it out.
Bring Her Back genuinely was my favorite for last year.
Yeah, that was genuinely my favorite of last year.
I'm kind of sad that it didn't get that much more hype.
Right? I feel like Sally Hawkins should have gotten a bit of recognition for that performance. Because she was real creepy.
It was so scary. And like there was true horror for sure.
Oh, that little kid.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, that movie was great. If you haven't seen Bring Her Back, definitely check it out. And I'm sure we will talk about it at some point.
Yes.
But why don't we get into a little synopsis for the movie we're going to talk about today?
Let's go. Let's go for it.
Let's get into this creepy business here. Strapped for cash, videographer Aaron Franklin accepts an online job request to travel to a remote cabin in California to meet his new client, Joseph, who explains that he has an inoperable brain tumor and is expected to die before his currently pregnant wife, Angela, gives birth. So he wishes to have Aaron record a single day's video diary for his unborn child, who he has named Buddy. The job takes a strange turn when Joseph's behavior becomes more unpredictable and his messages to Buddy get darker and darker. Aaron continues to see the job through despite Joseph's actions until he receives a strange phone call and finds that his client is not at all what he initially seemed to be.
And that's creep.
That's creep. And I'm going to go ahead and just like get this out of the way now, because normally I would ask Jayme when we would leave. And I feel like I can confidently say for both of us that we would never do some bullshit like this. This is like, no, never. And I know people do it because like when the whole thing is, ooh, I'm going to go on Craigslist and find a videographer gig, which like when I went to film school, they did actually tell us to look on Craigslist potentially for jobs. Like, be careful, but look on Craigslist. And this is the exact kind of job they would tell you to avoid. Go to a remote cabin in the woods with some guy you've never met.
If it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah. So I would not do this. I would not go.
But it's funny because I feel like you understand the desperation for fast cash.
Yeah.
And you are a videographer. You are a freelancer. You are waiting for your next gig. And this one just comes across your way. Like,
right?
Why wouldn't you say no?
Exactly. And like sometimes you'll get like a description of a gig or something and you're like, this sounds kind of weird. And then you go and it turns out to be absolutely amazing and like pays really well and like a bunch of other stuff. So like, I get it. I get why someone would.
I liked their height difference.
No. Yes.
I liked how like different in size they were.
Yes.
And like, I think I'm going to burn a fun fact because we got to talk about this.
Yes, let's talk about it.
We got to talk about, because everybody always talks about how this movie should have been called, like they were going to call it Peach Fuzz.
Yes, they
were.
And
they ended up not calling it Peach Fuzz. They called it Creep.
They did.
Because he really is a creep. But a part of me, honestly, I like Peach Fuzz.
Well,
it could have, like, I get, like, you know, you could spawn off, but I genuinely liked it.
I have a little elaboration on your fun fact.
Thank you. Elaborate.
Which is that they decided to name it Creep because, like, the relevance of Peach Fuzz doesn't come until about halfway through. And so his comment was he didn't want the viewers to, quote, spend the first half hour trying to figure out why the movie is called Peach Fuzz and not pay attention to the more intricate details.
The thing is, though, is like when you are looking for something, then you are looking into the details.
I agree.
So it's an interesting creative choice because I can see it from both ways. And then on top of that, the fact that the movie's only an hour and 20 minutes. So when he says halfway through, I'm like, dude, that's not that long.
That's not that long. Yeah, like, this is an hour 17 runtime, which like okay, so like
I'm defending Peach Fuzz.
That's fair. Pro Peach Fuzz.
Pro Peach Fuzz.
Although I don't know if I want to say I'm pro Peach Fuzz considering the content of this movie.
That's the last time I just said that.
Yeah, we're in name only.
Yeah. Because Creep does work because it does. Everything he pulls, if it was a woman instead of this in this scenario, instead of it being a man, and I know that sounds like so cliche to say, but it just, there's so many allowances that go through.
Right.
And they do some like really cool things. Some of it, though, was a bit cheesy for me and a bit hokey and a bit forced, but it is kind of what it is. You can tell that it's improvised.
Yes.
The guy who is like our main, the guy who's playing Mark, like who's playing Joseph.
Mark Duplass,
yeah. He was really
He's
creepy.
really good.
And
honestly,
he was good snapping in and out of like whatever
Mark Duplass is underrated as an actor. He's actually really good. The first thing I ever saw him in was this little indie movie with Aubrey Plaza.
Nice.
Called Safety Not Guaranteed.
Yeah, that's where he's from. Right? Which
is really good. Yeah. It's actually kind of a similar premise to this, but way more wholesome in that, for anybody who hasn't seen it, he places a classified ad for a time travel companion, but he's actually being 100% serious.
Yeah,
and so Aubrey Plaza is a journalist who goes to like investigate this ad because she thinks it'll be a good story, and like it's a great movie. I loved it.
Shout outs to Alexa Clark. She's the one that told me about that movie, and I watched it. Shout outs, good friend.
Yes, I saw that when I was in college, and it is such a good movie. Highly recommend for anybody who has not seen it. But having that as my baseline for Mark Duplass, and then watching this, I was like, oh Mark, no, oh no, like you're so, oh God, like I hate this.
I'm such a sour person because at the one point where he looks at him, he's like, he's good. I'm like, Dude, you're so hopeful. Like, how can you be that hopeful?
Yeah, like, I feel like right at the beginning, even before they even get in the house, I'll go ahead and put myself out there and say, I'm a hugger. I'm somebody who, like, I'm gonna give you a hug when I see you, especially if we're friends. And, like, if we've just met, maybe if we've hung out for a while, when I leave, I'll give you a hug. Like, I am that person. He hugs him way too much in the first scene immediately. And he's like, we're going to get way deeper than this, man. And gives him like another hug. I'm like, you're being so weird right now, bro. It's like right off the bat, like immediately.
If it's a new person, I always like try to hug them at the end.
Exactly.
Because like, then it shows that we've bonded.
Exactly. At the end.
You have to allow time.
But at the beginning.
In order the hug to bake. And then it's always awkward. Like I always get like so anxious because if you don't hug one person at the end of the night, it looks so awkward. And it's like, but there just wasn't an opportunity to go in for the lean.
Right. Sometimes it happens.
It happens. It happens.
But yeah, the multiple hugs right off the bat, I was like, that's a lot.
Oh, that's pants, a lot. His whole demeanor, his whole everything. It just he gave like drunk girl energy, and I like it was really unpredictable, and I couldn't handle it. I really liked how he said whiskey,
right? And like the fact that he's talking about how he has this inoperable brain tumor, but like power of positive thinking, and he's so chipper and so happy and all stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if somebody who just got that news is gonna be like that. There
were so many jump scares.
Yes, and they were good, but like, yeah, it was a lot. There were so many red flags right off the bat.
There was.
Just right off the bat, immediately. As soon as he was like, tubby time, I was like, oh my God, run.
And everything was a test of boundaries. It's like so obviously written in there. And how else do you go right off? Like that's such a good way to test somebody.
Immediately.
He just gets naked right in front of you and he starts acting weird. And then he's like, I could just go right now.
Right. Well, like what got me actually is before he gets in the tub when he's like going to take off his pants and he's like, I'm getting in the tub. And then he kind of like looks at Aaron who's filming. He's like, oh, you're not getting in the tub. Like I'm getting in the tub. Almost to like reassure him that nothing weird is about to happen. And I'm like, that's so subtle, but I feel like that's such a subtle little manipulation thing where it's like, oh, no, this isn't going to be weird. Like, don't worry.
There's been, like weird allowances.
Like, I know you're feeling weird. It's almost like an acknowledgement of the weirdness, but being like, don't worry, it's not going to get weirder than this. Like, it's fine. So you'll be like, okay, and you'll maybe let that boundary go. Like, I just found that so fascinating. That one little moment where I was like, oh, there it is.
I hated all of it.
I hated it. This movie made me so uncomfortable. So it was really successful, but it made me really uncomfortable.
The amount of people that I've heard say the word tubby time, the fact that I'm saying it.
Oh, I hate it so much.
It's aggressive. There's so many words in here that you find yourself saying that you're like, why am I even saying this? Which is great.
Yes.
Because they should be innocent and fun, but it's so creepy and weird.
It's such a perversion of something that should be so innocent. Like, it's really fascinating, especially that it was all improvised. I think is really, really interesting because they went into shooting this movie with a 5-page outline. That was it. And they just shot this movie, which like, okay, go off. Like, love that for you guys.
I agree. The production value does feel like, as much as it does feel limited, it doesn't feel like that bad,
It doesn't. Like, it feels like it was, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like, kind of intentionally limited, where like we're just trying to do something simple. It's not that we're so limited by funds that we're strapped and we're trying to like whip a rabbit out of a hat in order to make this happen. We just are doing something simple and figuring it out as we go.
Like there's still your classic like not really like stabilized well, but then because it's supposed to be a videographer, at least like that the shots are going to be framed like kind of well.
Well, that was my only thing occasionally was like for a videographer, this guy's camera technique is not great.
That's why he's so desperate for cash.
Oh
it's like wedding season is over, nobody's hiring. I need money.
But basically as they were shooting this movie, they would like shoot a couple scenes and then screen them for like their friends and family and stuff and like take notes because they actually intended to make a comedy when they started. It was going to be like a dark sort of psychological comedy. And apparently as they were screening it for their friends, they were like, this is fucking horrific. Like, this isn't even funny. This is a whole other thing. And they just leaned into it and were like, okay, I guess we're making a horror movie then. Let's do it. Which I kind of love. Like, let it do its own thing.
Well, just simply the fact that like one instances of this is enough to make you want to leave.
Yep.
Like there's no, and there's so many like pretend monologues and like, I don't know, he was a real villain.
He really is. And like, again, it's so similar to some of the other things we've been watching where it's like the little retractions where like when they go on the hike and then he's like, oh, we're going to go to the place with the best pancakes ever. And they get to the restaurant and they sit down and he looks at his menu and goes, I wonder what's good here. I thought you said the pancakes were good here. And it's like, oh, they are. They changed the menu. So I'm looking and it's like just little inconsistencies where you're like, oh,
you get so frustrated because you're like, why is this guy being such a little shit?
Why is he being so weird?
Yeah.
Like, why is he making this so weird? And like, yeah, I feel like the question of this movie is like, why are you making this so weird?
And I can understand that there's a little bit of the allowance simply because the guy Aaron can simply be like, oh, well, he has brain cancer. Like he's probably not thinking clearly.
Maybe it's affecting his behavior or something like that. Like,
I don't understand why he never really feels that his safety is at risk until like the last possible second.
Well, I mean, I'm going to go out on my high horse again here. I think it's because he's a guy. And also because, like you were saying, he's taller than him. He's a little bit bigger than him. And, like, obviously, I have never experienced this, so I can't speak to that. But I would assume that as a big, tall guy, when you see a smaller dude, you assume you can probably protect yourself if push comes to shove. Like, assuming he can't get the drop on you or something like that. Like, you'll probably be okay. You might not escape unscathed, but you will be okay.
Oh, my gosh.
And just having that level of sort of, like, confidence in your own safety, I think, is part of it.
Well, stupid question. Do you feel like he didn't mean to kill him the first time and kind of wanted him to get away so he could, like, taunt him a bit? Or do you think he meant to kill him that night?
I don't know if he meant for him to get away. I think he was okay with him getting away because then we do see him like stalking him later and like bringing him gifts and stuff like that. So I don't necessarily think it was planned. Right. I don't necessarily think it was planned, but I think he like sort of adapted and like was okay with it. Because for me, that's the scariest section of the movie is after Aaron has left the cabin and you have like clearly Mark Duplass is breaking into this house and he just hasn't seen him yet. And like, that is so terrifying to me. The idea that you are dead asleep and someone is in your house and you don't know.
Hate it.
And like, listeners, I live in a studio apartment. Like my house is not giant for someone to try and creep around in. So that is my nightmare.
It's my repetitive intrusive thought.
Oh God, that's my nightmare. Yeah. I say unknown persons in my house whilst I am sleeping. This is my nightmare. So the last act of this movie was rough for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, and okay, here's my question to you. Actually, thinking of that last bit, in the moment where Mark Duplass is like banging around outside the house, and Aaron gets up, turns on all the lights, looks around, does thing, and the camera sees him in the backyard, and you see Aaron come back, and like camera shuts off. If you're Aaron, do you watch the footage back?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. That's what I wondered immediately is why weren't you watching the footage?
Because I feel like he didn't. Because if he did, he would have called the cops and been like, I have footage of this guy at my house.
That shot in particular and the ending scene is the only reason I like rate this movie a bit higher than it is, because they are really impactful shots.
They're creepy, yeah.
And like very creepy, and it wasn't like, it was kind of a jump scare, but I like the fact that it was more of a reveal.
Yes.
So it was like more genuine. I don't know. I can't explain it.
It felt more earned.
Yeah, it does. And it didn't feel cheesy. It felt pretty hokey because everything in the beginning does feel a bit like...
It's a little hokey at the beginning. It is, because you're like, nobody would just go along with all of this. Like, this is like a lot. And then at the end, you're like, oh no.
And they just keep, exactly.
Yeah, like it's actually, by the end of it, it's earned. So I think it kind of gives you... What I think is kind of fascinating about it is it gives you a weird enough setup that you don't really know where this is going. Like, you don't know if, for example, like Joseph, Mark Duplass, is going to try and, keep him prisoner for some kind of god-awful reason, or if he's going to, like, murder him, or if he's just trying to scare him, or, like, he's just really weird, or, like, what's going on. So this movie, as I said before, is very successful in that way. Like, it absolutely achieves its goal. So by the end of it, you're still shocked by the ending because you genuinely don't know what's coming.
That's the best part, because you thought like maybe he's just going to keep going on with this little like weird cat and mouse game.
Yep.
And it's like, no, it's like, and also, dude, like, You don't look behind you?
Also, if I'm that guy, I don't go to that meeting. I take those videos to the cops and say, this man has been harassing me and like
you set up a sting operation.
Right? Lurking around my property. And now he wants me to come and meet him. And I am scared for my safety. Yeah. Like, and admittedly, the cops might, not do anything, but at least there's a record of it at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like, yeah, it's just...
Well, not to be all serious, but if you definitely feel like anything is happening, report it to the police.
If you feel a threat to your safety,
if there's a buildable...
An escalation?
Then it's there.
It's there, exactly. It's there. And, why would you not look behind you? Why would you sit at the bench that faces the water? If anything, I would be like leaning against the back of the bench, staring at the park full of people to see you coming, not looking at the water.
That's why with this movie in particular, I have to always tell myself, like, it's a movie. Like, it just, these characters have to make these decisions in order for this like terrible outcome. Well, but I'm also like, fuck, this guy's stupid.
Right? I also feel like it's a thing of like, dies. Well, it's also what we were talking about, like the sort of inherent trust in your own safety. It's sort of like, it's the middle of the day. I'm in a park. Like, what's going to happen? Like, what's he going to do? Walk up behind me and chop me in the head with an axe? Which, like, yep, that's exactly what he's going to do. But, like,
especially with the format that they decided to do with the pee pants story, I feel like they were trying to show that he is willing to take
a certain level of humiliation.
Yeah, and orders from somebody who just takes authority over him, and that is smaller.
Yeah.
But because of how the story is delivered, that's the part where they're trying to be comedic, where they should have been a bit more serious and just kind of like changed it. So then that way this character does seem a bit more sympathetic, opposed to him just being like a big old goofball. And then so it's like he didn't need it. He didn't this little But how he went about stuff, he's just like, really weird things are happening.
Right? He's like, this is really weird. Yeah. And like, I'm sorry, as soon as the guy confesses to you that he assaulted someone, even, he's like, I assaulted my wife. And then you find out that, potentially he may have actually assaulted his sister, if that story even happened, because you don't actually get confirmation that any of this actually happened at any point, which I do think is the way to do that. Just leave it ambiguous. But like, I think once you hear that, it's time to go.
Yeah, I was okay with that for just being weird for weird's sake. But yeah. And then that's when he decides he's going to go, and then he can't find his keys.
Yeah.
When you had the keys in your hand, that's when you leave the land.
Exactly. You don't come in for that one last drink.
No.
You say, thank you for the invitation, but I have to drive, so I'm not going to have a whiskey with you. I'm going to go home.
He was emphasizing the H, like whiskey. Yeah, it was so funny.
But, Mark Duplass, honestly, his performance in this is actually top tier. Like,
I think that's why it gets all the hype, for sure.
Yeah, without him, I think this falls apart, because he is so committed in that he doesn't see anything weird about what he's doing at all. Like, to Joseph, this is perfectly normal. Like, this is fine.
Yeah.
He's totally unfazed by any of these things. And actually, what really got me was the moment where Aaron kind of freaks out and he doesn't know where Mark Duplass is. Like, he thinks he may have run out onto the balcony, and the balcony door is just open and he's not sure. The way that Mark Duplass just screams and rips down those stairs. Holy shit, that was terrifying. Because, like, it's so real. Somebody could do that, especially if they're like a runner. Just all of a sudden, he just, first he's crying and then he's screaming and then he's just gone. And you're like, that's the way out.
Unfortunately, I compare it to him being a drunk girl is because of the unpredictability.
Yes.
What are you gonna do?
I genuinely have no idea what you're gonna do, and that in and of itself is terrifying.
You're going all on instinct at that point.
Any social rules have just gone.
Yeah, the lights are on. Nobody's home.
Nobody is home, baby. You are dissociated.
Living from experience.
Oh yes, it's.
Like, I don't know her.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So his performance was, and it's like
so unnerving and so good. Like, Mark Duplass is great in this. Because I feel like if you have an actor who maybe either interprets the part as full crazy the whole time, that's where this goes into just like camp insanity and like doesn't work. You know, if that character is already at an 11 when you start, there's nowhere to go. And so for him, he's being weird and he's being like sort of off kilter and uncanny, but he's not being aggressive. He's not being scary. He's just being weird, which I think is why this also takes so long for Aaron to kind of get into. Like, you know, when they're hiking, he's like, do you know the way back? No. For me, oh my God, I would have just turned around right there. I'd be like, you keep going. I'm getting out of here. Bye. Like, I will figure it out, but no, I'm not doing this. But yeah, he's just being weird. And then, you know, for example, they get to the little heart-shaped pool and it's like, oh, okay, so he is actually right. He's just like a little eccentric. Like, okay, I guess we're doing this.
I was so nervous for him to even join him on like that. Like,
me too. You're going into the woods with someone you don't know on a path they don't know.
Near cliffs.
Like, even if you're not near cliffs, that is some serial killer shit.
There's so much pushing. There's so much pushing and then, like, death.
And him just, like, running off into the woods at one point when he just, like, books it.
It's so funny.
It is really funny, but I'm also like, if that was me, I'd be like, oh, you can get fucked. And I would just turn around. Like, I would not be entertaining that. Like,
that's when I become pee pants.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It's like, you left me in here. Google Maps does not work.
Yeah, like,
I am a city girl.
Right, same. I would be in so much trouble, but, like,
people who are, you know, directions and just remember things and are good with going places. Shout outs to you, man.
Right? We need you.
Yeah, we
will literally be lost without you.
Yeah.
Like, we need you.
We're here to complete you.
Exactly. We have other skills.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, oof. Okay, I'm going to pivot slightly just because that reminded me of something. Have you ever heard, this is a new thing apparently, of the concept of alpine divorce?
Please tell me, what's alpine divorce?
Alpine divorce. Okay, so this is a thing that people have named because it's a trend. Women will share stories online of their partners taking them on hikes, like long-ass hikes, either without telling them beforehand, so they are completely unprepared. Like, we're talking about, you know, wearing a pair of flip-flops to try and hike a mountain kind of situation. And, like, no water, no snacks, like, nothing, not even a jacket. And then ditching them somewhere on the trail and going home without them, literally leaving these women halfway up a mountain. Even if they've prepared them for a hike, they will literally just fuck off and leave these women on the trail. And there have been a couple of women who've died of exposure. Other ones have made it back and been like, what the fuck? And they're like, oh yeah, well, it was easier than trying to break up with you.
See, that's where you just break up with somebody.
Right? That's where, like, I'm going to go ahead and be mean for a moment. That's where you grow a spine and break up with someone.
That's so medieval. Like,
right?
Like,
that's
I'm just going to just drag her into the woods and just say, you know what? Peace.
I'm going to risk her dying of exposure, getting eaten by an animal, like any number of things happening.
You know how crazy it is? Because you would see them all dressed up in their hiking gear, boots, backpack, a little granola bar.
And you'd be like...
For me, it's an Nalgene.
Right.
I know for some it's whatever water bottle you want to go with.
Yeah, whatever feels right.
That's the old timer in me.
I love that for you.
I love a jean.
That's fair. I'm not picky about a water bottle. Mine's just insulated
hydration.
Water bottle. Yeah. Just mine has to be at least a liter. That's my rule.
The flip-flops part, the whole part.
Right?
That's
Or like even if they prep them for a hike, they'll be like, oh, we're going to go on a 2-mile hike, and they'll go on like a 10-mile hike. So this poor woman is like exhausted, and then just like as they up and leave you. And then even if you make it back.
I blame the parents.
Right? Even if you make it back to the summit, the car's gone. This person is left. Like, they have literally left you in the middle of nowhere. And it's happened often enough that this trend now has a name.
It's so sad. Like, you can, like, picture it as a movie. Like, it starts raining, and she's, like, hurt her ankle a bit, so she's limping. Mm-hmm. And then she finally gets home, and she goes to the garage, and she's like, all right, time to get back at this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. And then it's a revenge movie, and then I'm here for it.
And let's go. That was a pitch.
That was a free pitch. A free original pitch from Jayme. There you go.
Thank you, guys.
It's called Alpine Divorce, coming out in 2030.
Yeah. AAP. Or wait, APD
coming out to a theater near you.
Yeah. Maybe sometimes it's like November. Like, it feels like a November movie.
Yeah, I think it's like a wintry movie.
It's a little cold.
Yeah, I think so. Like, maybe not full on alpine snow situation, but like it's definitely getting there.
It's kind of honestly, or like right now where people are like, let's go up to the mountain And then there's always this the most exhausted old man that's like, please wear a jacket. Make sure you check the conditions on the mountains.
And like batteries for your flashlights.
We're a volunteer service. And like, don't make that. Don't make him happy.
Right. And he'll do things like, be like, if you see a black bear, don't climb a tree.
Yeah.
And then inevitably in the movie, these people will see a black bear and climb a tree and figure out why that's a bad idea. Google it.
APD.
Just trust me.
Coming out in May.
May of 2030.
Now, I will be honest with you. I almost thought that this should have been, because you and I haven't seen this. So I did not know what we were in for. And I was like, maybe this should have been the wild card.
Maybe. Like, I had there was little bit of knowledge of what this movie was. Not like a ton, but like a little. And yeah, this movie is one that is kind of hard to describe in a lot of ways.
I feel like it's because it, like with the runtime especially, I think I've mentioned all the parts that I really came to mind, to be honest.
That's kind of it. Like for me, the other sort of like subtle thing that I noticed, which again, I feel like my gender does potentially play into this, is when he comes in for the whiskey. And if you look, the two glasses, one of them is much fuller than the others, and it's not Mark Duplass's. And also, he doesn't drink his until after Aaron has finished all of his whiskey, which, like, even though there's nothing wrong with Aaron's whiskey, that to me is such a red flag. If someone offers you a drink that's the same thing they're drinking and they notably do not partake of it whilst you do, red flag. Red flag. Red flag.
I'm glad I just don't leave anymore. Right? I go to work.
And I'm just glad that
I cross some red flags there, and then I come home.
I'm just glad that I would
red flags at home.
Accept an open beverage from someone who had been acting like that all day.
TV and film have made me so skeptical.
And true crime, like all of it.
I chug drinks. You pass me that thing, it's gone. Yeah. Like, no, I'm not holding on to anything.
Like, unless I'm sitting down in a restaurant with someone I know and trust. Like,
100%.
And I mean, even in that scenario, I probably am just actively drinking my drink because I'm thirsty.
Yeah.
Usually.
I'm nervous. I'm thirsty.
I'm always dehydrated. Forever dehydrated.
Yeah.
I try so hard, guys. That was the other one that like kind of got me though, was I noticed that, Aaron finishes his whiskey, stands up, is looking for his keys, and Joseph's glass is still full. And it's only when Aaron offers him another one that he's like, okay, and he drinks his drink and then has another one. And it's because he wants Aaron to stay.
See, I'm not going to lie. I've listened to a couple podcasts, one a long time ago and one recently about this movie. And they both had male hosts on it. And and I knew that was going to be an interesting perspective for us because the one had, how they mentioned their experience, it was different.
Yeah, it is. It's just different. Like, because I think I can speak for most like women or femmes or whoever when they say that like one, if they even went so far as to do this, they would have left a long time ago. Like they wouldn't have gotten this far.
Yeah, we put ourselves in different scenarios when it comes to leaving.
Exactly.
And like questioning when we should.
We have different boundaries. And it's unfortunate, but it's the reality.
But it's the same concept of men trusting men and women trusting women.
Absolutely.
And then having that trust
be broken. Because you assume there's going to be a sort of fundamental trust in that way, especially amidst women. You assume. And
so that's the equality between the genders there.
Hey. Yeah. Since I can only speak to being a woman, there is sort of like an unspoken thing where you assume that at least on that level, you have each other's backs.
Because like having another girl like break your trust, it hurts. It really does.
That gets you. That gets you so much more.
So for him to get axed in the head and to not even see it coming, it actually is such a burn because the fact that he's like, but you're the greatest. You know that?
Right? Like, I'm going to love you forever. You're the greatest. Yeah. As he's like axed you in the back of the head.
You couldn't even do it face to face. What a little man to a tall man.
Right? Actually, one thing I did want to ask you about is when Aaron is first at home and he gets the big package, like the big box. One, do you bring it inside?
You call the police.
Right?
Immediately.
You immediately call the police. And if you open it, do you pick up the knife?
Oh my God.
Because I don't.
Oh my God. No.
Thank you.
Fingerprints.
Like, you don't know what that knife has been used for.
And you could be implicated in a crime.
Exactly. You do not pick up the knife. And he's the
Don't
fact that
pick
he's
up
just
the
like
knife.
sitting with it in his hand while he's watching this video. I'm like, what are you doing?
And they went for, I don't know how to say this. They went for such a silly kitchen knife as well.
They did. It was such a choice.
It's like a plastic handle.
Right, and it's like one of the ones that's more like not like a cleaver, but it's like meant for chopping and things.
It's
not
the
even
smaller
like,
butcher knife.
yeah, it's not even like pointy and sharp. And also, why was the big box so heavy if that's all that was in it? Like, what else was in there?
Yeah.
Because he's like dragging the box on the floor like it's heavy, and then he opens it and it's a DVD, a stuffed animal with a locket
Arms
in
Day
it,
every day.
and like a knife that would weigh like nothing. That would weigh like less than probably 5 pounds. Like,
this guy's got to get more protein.
yeah, you gotta hit the gym, my guy.
These days,
right? Everybody's eating all the protein. It's so easy. I mean, this was 2014, but like even so, eat a little more protein. Don't skip the gym. It's gonna be okay.
But if he had protein Pop-Tarts, he'd be doing so much better now.
Don't get me started. One thing I did actually really like about this movie is like, because the runtime is so short, they managed to establish the tone and like the atmosphere of this movie immediately.
And it's very consistent. That's a very good observation.
It's very consistent. It's right off the bat. So like, credit where credit is due. This movie knows exactly what it's about, which is kind of hilarious for an improvised movie. But yeah, it knows what it's about, which I really liked. And I really liked the ending of this movie where you cut to Mark Duplass and he's watching the video.
Is it weird to say they had good chemistry?
They did. No, they did.
Like you can totally tell. Like it did kind of feel like friendship. So like the playful sides, like but definitely like the boundary of the bathtub. And nobody will be able to forget that. No. Nobody will be able to forget. Ugh.
Yeah, and for me, it was also the moment where he has the peach fuzz mask on and he's blocking the door.
Yeah, didn't like that.
I hated that. And like, I don't know if you've ever had that experience where like usually at a party where somebody's really drunk and like people are like, they don't want them to do something, be it like leave a room or like do whatever. So they like try and block you. And like, I hate that so much. Like that triggered me a little bit where I was like, oh no, I hate it.
Well, don't take away an exit.
Yeah, like you have to let me leave, bro. Like,
and he was being so weird.
Right.
He was being
and the,
so
like,
weird.
Sort of, like,
I hated it
and
too.
rubbing around on the door and like just being like, you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know if he's gonna attack you either like violently, sexually violently, or like whatever. Like it's just the horror is in the ambiguity in that moment, and it's a lot.
Like your eyes are being violated. What else will be?
It's also very violating.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
It almost makes you mad, but then you are like, it's just supposed to be a movie. So you're like,
exactly. But that's also why this movie's so successful. That's why this movie is good, is because that's what it's trying to do. It's trying to make you unnerved and uncomfortable and all these things. And it does that. It is very successful. So when this movie came out, it came out at South by Southwest in 2014, and basically got kind of like shuffled around amidst distribution companies for a while. And it finally got like released, I think it was a year later in 2015 for some streaming, and then eventually it got a global release on Netflix later that year.
It's funny when that happens, because then there's some people that always say 2015, there's other people that say 2014 for the release, but 2014
is when it premiered. It was released on Netflix in 2015.
Yes.
So that's when most people found it. It actually had really good reviews when it came out. Like people liked this movie. Like basically everybody's like, yeah, this movie's hella unsettling and really fucking uncomfortable, but like, yeah, it's good. IndieWire even said, quote, "It has an oddly hypnotic quality laced with an unspoken malevolence," which I think is a great descriptor of this movie. And there's something about the found footage aspect as well that really works for this movie. Since we cannot do our usual box office guessing, since we do not have that information, would you like to guess the Rotten Tomatoes score of this movie?
Okay, I saw somewhere that it's not 91%, is it?
It is for critics. It is a 91%er, but
because I couldn't believe that when I saw that.
It is,
because I was like, oh, well, this movie's got to be like good.
Would you like to guess what the audience score is?
Like 70,
66. So very close. I feel like the audience score is maybe a little bit closer. But I can understand the 91% from critics because it is arguably a really good movie.
When
it's
you
just
start
not one that I liked
looking
that
at
much.
all like the technical standpoints,
Right.
it hits all the marks. It's just like having a grid of all these things, and it checks all the boxes. So I can see why, for a critic standpoint, that they would give it a higher value.
Exactly.
Because they're looking at it from this. And then also, that's why it's like, do you like found footage or don't you like found footage?
Exactly.
It's such a bargain. You know, there's no in between for that type of genre.
It's kind of polarizing in that way. People are going to love it or hate it.
Mm-hmm.
There's not going to be a lot of wiggle room. So would you like to hear some fun facts?
Of course.
So the voice of Angela is played by Katie Aselton, I don't know how you pronounce her name, who is actually Mark Duplass's wife in real
Shout outs
life.
to having wives.
Right? Getting your wife to help you with your film. That's how you keep your budget low. And also just like, oof, historically, wow, that's a rabbit hole to fall down.
Yeah. Also, it makes it kind of like weird and meta into...
Right? In a weird way, because it is actually his wife who's making that phone call, but she's claiming to be his sister who he claimed to be his wife. And it's like all a little weird.
Creepy.
This movie, like, it was improvised, but it was because it was just based on conversations that Patrick Brice, who played Aaron, and Mark Duplass, who played Joseph, had in their real lives, because, like, they're good friends. And just crazy Craigslist experiences that they had at the beginning of their careers and things like that. So they did actually, right? So they did actually draw some things from real life, but they just, like, turned it up to a 12. And Mark Duplass said that the story was actually inspired by character-driven dramas that are what are described as two-handers. So it's things like My Dinner with Andre, Misery, Fatal Attraction, like all of that stuff, where you have these two characters and it is just about the two of them, and that's it. And I think that's a really kind of interesting approach. Like, okay, you're gonna make a character drama, but it's like a found footage horror that makes everyone uncomfortable. Okay, like I can get down with that. That's kind of cool. So in fun facts, we're gonna kind of cross over into franchise territory here, because this movie has become a franchise in the intervening years. So Creep 2 was released in 2017, in October of 2017. And then there is also a spin-off TV show called The Creep Tapes, which is about, at the end of this movie, we see this sort of like cupboards full of tapes that Joseph, who calls himself Bill at the end of the movie, has made of all of his victims. So the Creep Tapes are some of those, which I think is also like, absolute. That's a great concept for a sequel. That's a great idea. That's a great way to spin this off. Because you can do basically whatever, which, like, love it. So that premiered in 2024 and is actually currently still on. There is supposed to be a season 3 coming at some point in 2026.
Damn.
Right? Like, I don't know when, but apparently that is coming down the pipeline. Assuming that all of the videos that we see in the closet are of murders specifically versus other things, then it means that Joseph, as he's known, has murdered at least 57 people prior to Aaron. The viewer sees the names of about 35 victims, some with multiple tapes, and then there are another 22 tapes that you can't see names on. So he would be a prolific.
And there was DVDs.
Exactly, because you can't see any of those.
Yeah.
Early on in the film, Joseph actually asks Aaron if a little part of him thought that Joseph would kill him with the axe at the front of the house when he saw it, to which Aaron's reply is yes, and inevitably that's exactly what happens.
Which is classic storytelling.
Right? Such a fun little bookend,
foreshadowing.
right? Through the movie. Like you mentioned previously, the original title was Peach Fuzz, but they decided to change it to Creep so that people would pay attention, which, like, justice for the title Peach Fuzz.
And
I think that would have been better.
Right, because my other defense for that too is he's killing as Peach Fuzz.
Right.
So
exactly, like, he puts that mask on before he murders Aaron. He is killing people as Peach Fuzz, but
which almost makes me assume, which is making me look too hard into a movie that is so silly.
Right.
Maybe he has multi-personality disorder.
Maybe.
And that's why Angela was like, oh my God, like Joseph, because because people have brought up, like, would you use that as a real name or a fake name? You know, right?
Well, I think that's kind of the point why he calls himself Bill at the end, is like, we don't know what his actual name is. But then, like,
who are you?
My question is, when Angela calls, she talks about Joseph.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, is she in on it? Is his actual name Joseph? And, like, just for this one, he happened to use his actual name or something like that? Like,
there can't be any financial gain with this.
Right?
This is just some sick fuckery.
Right? Well, what I'd be intrigued if your question ever gets answered is in the process of making the movie, since so much of it was actually improvised and they would like shoot and screen and shoot and screen and shoot and screen, they had like 10 to 12 different versions of basically every scene, and there are multiple different endings out there that they shot that they didn't wind up using. So I wonder if one of them we maybe actually meet Angela or something like that, or like we get a little more of his
the more budget,
story,
the more
like,
playroom we'll definitely see for sure.
I mean, I have not seen the other things in this franchise. I haven't seen Creep 2. I did read a brief synopsis of it online because when I was doing my pitch, I didn't want to accidentally pitch the sequel. So I did read a brief synopsis, but I haven't seen the Creep tapes or anything. No, it's okay. Honestly, I didn't. I'm scared. When I read it, I was like, oh, that's actually not what I was expecting at all. So cool, I don't think you're in danger of it. But I also made sure it wasn't a super spoilery one in case I decided to watch it later. And then my final fun fact for today. Of the creative process for his character, Joseph, Duplass explained, "We were interested in the psychological profile of this very, very strange person. We were very interested in how you meet people and don't quite understand what's up, but you start to get signs. For us, that was the intense eye contact, lack of personal space, oversharing, maybe a little bit too much love here and there. But for me, there's something wrong with both of these guys, deeply. The concept of who is the creep in this scenario." Because that's also kind of true. Like, I feel like you do kind of have to have a screw loose to accept a job like this at that point. Like, that's a lot.
It's called I Need Money. That will make anybody crazy.
Yes. So for the sequels for this movie, basically they went through development hell for quite a while. It's a long story with not a lot of payoff, so I will spare you guys. But basically it took several years for them to get made. But we did eventually get Creep 2 in October of 2017. And as I previously said, they did the Creep tapes, where initially they had actually planned to do a third movie. They were just going to leave it trilogy. Like, that was the original plan.
Now, did they do a theatrical for Creep 2, or was it just regular?
It's my understanding that it just went to streaming. I don't think it was theatrical. I could be wrong on that, though. I did not look super far into it.
I'm just trying to see how they get their money back, you know? But I guess
would assume a deal with Netflix.
Yeah,
like, I would assume it's that kind of thing. Because this movie really started to get like groundswell and people talking about it once it was on Netflix.
Which makes sense.
So I suspect Netflix is probably where they're getting their money at that point.
Daddy Netflix.
Right, Daddy Netflix. But when Creep 2 came out, it actually had a 100% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes and 71 audience percent. So apparently people like it better than the original. So maybe we should check it out. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
And yes, the third film was originally planned for March 2020, that they were like working on it, basically. Not to be released. They were working on it.
What a time.
Right. And they just were like struggling to find a concept, basically. So they announced in 2024 that they were going to do the Creep tapes instead of a third
Which
movie.
is a better concept.
Which I agree. I think that's a better choice because it gives you so much more room to play around in terms of story and things.
And then
like
you don't get stale.
Exactly. You can keep it fresh. You can do more interesting things because you can do something different every time.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't watch any of it. I just looked up a very sort of like brief info page about it. And it is an anthology series. So they are all different. Everyone is a tape, like, which I think is a great idea.
I think so too. Because how else would you do it?
Exactly. Like, I think that's the way to go. That makes a lot of sense. I think that's a good choice. Gave this a 6.5.
Yeah.
Because I cannot deny its merits. It is really good, but this is not the kind of movie that I'm going to love, basically. What would you rate this movie out of 10, Jimmy?
Let's do a 6.
A 6?
Yeah, solid 6.
Solid 6? That's so fair. I did put on the extra half point just because, like, Mark Duplass is so good. Like, he's so good, and it did justify the found footage at the end, which for me, I was like, okay, you get a little bonus point for that, because that's always my nitpicky question at the end of found footage is, who put this together? How did someone find this footage? Because even, for example, like, looking at something like Blair Witch Project, it's just abandoned in the woods at the end, so you assume someone, like, stumbled upon it, right? But, like, for so many found footage movies, it just ends with someone screaming and getting, like, eaten in the bottom of a cave, and you're like, okay, but how did anybody find this footage ever? Like, it would still just be at the bottom of the cave.
That's why I like Paranormal Activity because it's like the police found these.
Right? Like, again.
It makes sense because there was like a
justified.
Whole,
exactly.
Videographer. With this, yeah, I agree with you. Great observation as well, because usually it's so forced.
Right? But this and like Paranormal Activity, there's a couple examples where you're like, okay, this is it. This is good.
Also, I am biased again because like I said earlier about found footage, it's not my favorite.
Yeah, me neither.
So like I probably feel like I would score it higher maybe if I was a big found footage person.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think I would probably say the same about me, like because I'm also not really a found footage person, that I would rate this higher if I was.
But I always admire the process.
Yeah.
Because it's like you just do it.
Exactly. And like, am I going to go see the just announced Blair Witch Project sequel? Of course I am.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Of course I am.
Any reason to eat popcorn.
I remember when that came out. That was such a big deal. But okay.
I feel like it's harder to trick people.
It is. And well, honestly, we could do a whole episode on the deep dive of this, so I will keep it brief. But that movie almost destroyed the careers of the actors in it.
It did. It's actually one of the most haunting facts about the entire production.
Right? Because of like the whole marketing campaign, we're like, no,
they thought they were dead.
We need people to believe that you're dead, basically, for the marketing campaign, only to have them then come out and say like, no, actually, we're actors, we're here, we're alive, we're ready to work. And people are like, oh, that wasn't you, like she's dead. And it's like, guys, this was a work of fiction. This wasn't a documentary. Like, I am here.
It's a movie.
But apparently they have signed on for the new one, which I love.
Fabulous.
Give these people their careers back. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Get some money.
Get some cash. Get some acknowledgement. You
Exactly.
deserve it.
Yeah.
You're in one of the most iconic horror films of all time. You deserve it. I'm not saying where that ranks on that list, but I will say it is one of the most iconic.
It's very important, I find.
I mean, I would argue that it revolutionized found footage in like a pretty big way. So yeah, like it or not, people, Blair Witch Project is iconic. Would you rewatch this movie, Jayme?
I'm not sure. It's definitely more of a background movie. I do feel like I would look into the series and look into the tapes because I like the concept. I would like to see if maybe they like tuned it up a bit and found like their footing, which usually can happen when you have more time to work with the character.
I'm assuming that's what happens in the sequel because it also has a longer runtime. Like the sequel, I think, is almost 2 hours. So it's longer. Like I'm assuming they have a slightly bigger budget at that point. I don't know, I'm assuming. But yeah, this is one where I probably wouldn't rewatch it if I'm honest. Like maybe if I watched Creep 2 and some of the Creep tapes and really loved those, it would probably make me love this one more. You know what I mean? So like then I might rewatch it. But good, but not really my vibe is kind of my overall
100%.
feeling.
And I'm not sure if it's not getting past the Aaron's actions because it's so allowing.
Yeah.
And it,
right.
And it's his ultimate demise. But
right. Well, like similar to last week when we were talking about Speak No Evil, like you just allow so much. So many little tiny violations that you just allow.
Consistent theme throughout the entire
for
series.
our whole season. So I feel like this is actually kind of a perfect movie to wrap up because like, just this red flags, little social violations just piling on top of each other one after another until all of a sudden they're like, you're drowning in them. Oh God, it's the worst.
Horrible.
Should we pitch, Jayme?
Let's pitch.
Is it time?
It is time. Days after Aaron was killed, a fellow videographer friend of his begins to try and piece together what has happened. He comes across the Craigslist ad, and it's now his time to face Peach Fuzz.
Perfect. 16 seconds.
Amazing.
Also, our pitches are very, very similar this week.
I was gonna go. I waited a little too last minute, and I was almost gonna go like a random person, almost like those like host style where it's almost like it's like camera, and he's going through the dark web and he finds the creep tapes.
Okay,
and
that's
then like
fun.
he gets like super invested in it, and he like wants to find Peach Fuzz. So that's like that was kind of like my other idea for a pitch.
I mean, I feel like you kind of do both,
right? Because like those are kind of creepy and it works.
Like dark web hacker version.
Yeah, exactly. Because the dark web in itself is already weird, and there's already so much stuff.
That's true.
Like that on there.
And the creep tapes would be on there.
Yeah. This guy, like, he is an attention whore.
That's true.
Joseph is
He just wants love. He just wants attention.
Too much of it.
Too much.
Yeah, and he wants to play with you. I don't like that. See how creepy that is?
I don't like that. No, I don't like that.
Goat sounds. Yeah.
Okay. After trying and failing to convince the police to investigate the disappearance of her friend Aaron, a journalist begins to look into his fate on her own. Upon breaking into Aaron's apartment and discovering his laptop, she finds the DVDs and raw footage of Joseph. As she further investigates Joseph's identity in Aaron's final days, she heads to the cabin, unaware that Joseph has also been watching it for signs of investigation or activity. In the woods near the cabin, she finds Aaron's car keys, confirming her suspicions. The next day, she sees/replies to a Craigslist ad that she is certain Joseph has posted, planning to execute her revenge, but unaware that Joseph has plans of his own. Who will survive?
And that was the 37-second version of my pitch.
Oh, I know, they're basically the same.
No, that was great. That was actually so great, Becca.
See, this is when we combine forces and we combine our pitches into our final pitch.
And also, like, because I didn't give this person a name. Did you give her a name?
I was sitting writing my pitch and I was like, man, I should give her a name. And then I was thinking about it, I was like, no, I'm not that committed. I'm not going to name this character.
That's so funny. Same. And that's like the most logistical answer, right? Is you have to go, like, you're going back. Somebody's going back.
Somebody's going back. And I feel like that's often the case with found footage, because, like, how else do you open up this storyline again? Is you have to go back to either the person or the place where this happened.
Do you mind telling me what the synopsis was? What the synopsis was for the second one?
I can in just a moment here.
Because I'm glad that you looked it up.
I did.
Just because I it's funny because I think it was The Hills Have Eyes, where I had a similar pitch to the second one for an idea, and then I had to reroute.
Okay, so this is a slightly longer one, so bear with me.
Okay.
But this is torn directly from Wikipedia.
Okay.
Just for you guys.
Wiki.
Okay. A prolific serial killer using the name Aaron, after a previous victim, undergoes a midlife crisis as his 40th birthday approaches, finding himself dissatisfied with his killings. When his latest ad for a videographer lures a YouTuber named Sarah to his remote cabin, Aaron changes his approach by admitting he is a serial killer who will let Sarah live for the next 24 hours if she records a documentary on his life. Sarah, doubting the revelation, agrees to film Aaron in the hopes that the video will popularize her unsuccessful web series about eccentric Craigslist clients. Over the course of the day, Aaron struggles to intimidate Sarah, who plays along with his various eccentricities. Sarah eventually admits that she does not believe Aaron is a true serial killer, whereupon Aaron informs her that he intends to conclude the documentary by having her kill him. He later stages a suicide attempt, much to her horror. As she prepares to leave, he convinces her to stay. The two have a conversation in which Aaron admits he is a virgin who has never kissed anyone. Surprised at the revelation, Sarah offers to kiss him, to which he agrees. Aaron brings Sarah back into the woods where he gives her the same heart-shaped locket that he had given his victim in the previous film, then shows her to an open grave that he has dug. He then proceeds to stab himself in the stomach before handing her the knife and imploring her to do the same, hoping to conclude their film in the same manner as Romeo and Juliet. When she attempts to flee, he stabs her and drags her into the grave. Aaron approaches the camera and starts giving a closing monologue, but the still alive Sarah emerges from the grave and strikes him in the back of the head with a shovel before fleeing. Afterwards, Sarah is recorded in public by an unidentified individual whistling a tune heard in Aaron's videos. When Sarah notices the individual filming her, the camera abruptly cuts away. Creep 2.
Trippy.
Creep 2.
It's like a really well thought out version of ours,
right? We're like, oh, cool, sort of the same.
Somebody's
but, like,
going
back.
Not. This was a very pitchy episode.
It really was, but
good for us.
Good for us.
Good
yeah,
for
so
us.
many pitches.
Thank you for being here for our pitches.
Thank you
on
so
the Pitch
much.
and Bitch podcast.
On the Pitch and Bitch podcast. And on that note, that brings season 2, We Should Leave, to its conclusion. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening and for hanging out with us.
Exactly.
We love having you here. We are going to announce our season 3 theme soon, so keep an eye on Instagram because that will be coming your way. And in the meantime, if you would like to contact us, please feel free to send us an email at pnb.pod.show@gmail.com. And we are also on Instagram at pitchandbitchpod, which is PITCHNBITCHPOD on Instagram. Drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. And until next season, I'm Becca.
And I'm Jayme.
And we'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
Love you.